Second here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You made it. My name is Leanne Reagan, and if you're watching and taking part in real time, this is the February 2026 monthly roundtable. And today's topic is kind of a combination of different member requests. I kind of put together a couple of things. So your suggestions for roundtable topics are always welcome. Today, we're going to talk about reclaiming your life, effective strategies for stress management and work-life balance. So welcome, welcome. A warm, warm welcome to you all. Specifically, we're going to put the elusive balance of the myth of balance, rather, to bed. We're going to look at some very research-based strategies. So I'm not making these things up. They're all well documented. You're going to do some personalized care and attention, so things that work for you, so you know yourself. Get a little bit more relaxation and balance and less fear and anxiety. I'll share with you one simple skill to decrease your stress and increase your wellness. We've got Cameron and Irene coming in. And then we're going to talk about three different kind of stressors. So the most important one you've probably never heard of. And if you are a UN staff person, you don't have to be a UN staff person. Anyone who's interested in learning is welcome here. But if you are and you want to count this towards your UN professional development, you're welcome to do that. I'll give you at the end of the workshop today a link and you just sign that attendance and then that will get counted. And also as a member, as soon as you signed up for the roundtable, you become a member. So a member of our global family here. And you get access to all 13 plus years of resources. So watch for those emails. They'll tell you how to get access. So another way to look at this is we're going to break a myth, a common myth, using a pen or a pencil. So make sure that you have a pen or a pencil handy. We're going to talk about the best kind of stress you've probably never heard of. And at the end of our time together, I'm going to share some really wonky, weird, but totally tested and true uh, methods to reduce your stress in 60 seconds or less. 60 seconds or less. By the way, welcome to Alba and Alessandra and Irene and Cameron, folks that are just coming in. If I'm mispronouncing your name, please send me a DM.
Good morning to
So,
you.
oh, hi, sorry, Alba, I missed that. What was
I
that?
said just good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this finds folks. So maybe you are stressed to the max with everything that's going on in your world and the global stage right now, and it's all you can do to just get here and be here with us. So if that's you, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. Maybe you've got quite a bit of stress and you're making some healthy strides in terms of dealing with that stress, but you know you can learn some more. So if that speaks to you, welcome. And maybe you are a Zen master and you have it going on and you're keen to keep it that way. So, however you come to be here with us today, you're so welcome. I really encourage you to make the most of your time. You made the choice to be here. Yay, you. So, if you find your attention wandering, just give yourself that gift of presence and bring your attention back so you get the most out of our time together. And if you wish, you can breathe in focus and breathe out that to-do list and distractions. They can just disappear for the time being. So breathe in focus with a nice deep breath and breathe out those distractions. You can come back to them later, but for now, just give yourself that gift of presence. If we have not met yet, if I haven't had the privilege of meeting you, my name is Leanne Reagan, and I am the founder of the Learning and Development Roundtable, which has been running for more than 13 years now. And I do a lot of other kinds of workshops. So I've shared a link in the chat, pardon me, If you want to take a look at that and talk to me about potentially doing a workshop with you and your team, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Also, just a couple of quick tips to get the most out of our time. There's so many great, brilliant minds in this community. I'm so grateful that you're here. So please participate, ask questions, offer resources, make comments in the chat. You don't have to wait. You can put anything you want in the chat as you wish, because I know there's lots of people with great ideas and suggestions and such. Also, there is a LinkedIn Learning and Development Roundtable group at the request of the members. So if you haven't joined that and you're interested, the link is in the chat. There's also a Facebook, LinkedIn, there's a Facebook Learning and Development Roundtable group. So you can join that if that speaks to you. And also, I'm always interested in growing our community. So please share the link to join. It's free. You get access to all the resources, etc. Folks have always, for years now, or a couple of years, started saying that they wish they got the resources faster. So probably on Monday, you'll get the recording, the workbook, all of those kinds of things. And as soon as this workshop ends, you'll get the deck. So I'm happy to give that to you right away. It just takes the team a little bit of time to get everything else sorted. So as soon as this ends, the deck will end up in your email inbox, so you can watch for that. Hi, Needy. So nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just a couple of other announcements before we dive in. I am teaching for UN staff. I'm teaching a public speaking workshop. A few people have contacted me who aren't UN staff. So if you are interested in this topic and you're not a UN staff, just send me an email. Otherwise, for UN staff, you can email UNON HR Learning. It's going to be on March 24th and 25th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. East Africa time. So if that is interesting to you, there is a cost for that, and you can reach out to UNON for information about that. Okay, and then also, as much as I love and adore that you're here, I also want to take care of future you. So I really want to make sure that you are using your learning to make a difference well after this roundtable ends. So I alternate these worksheets. There's about 4 different kinds of worksheets to help you kind of curate your learning. So there's a link to the worksheet in the chat. Once you download it, it becomes editable. So it's a way to help you remember and apply your learning. Okay, over to you. I'd love to know what's a favorite thing that you do currently to restore and relax? So what's something that you do right now, like currently, uh, to help you relax? Oh, Jennifer's coming in. So we're talking about work-life balance and integration. Hi, Jennifer, welcome. So is there something that you're already doing?
Hi,
Oh, Needy,
morning.
playing with the
Thank you.
baby. Sorry, Jennifer. I missed what you said there. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, and Takashi's coming in. Okay. So Nisa's playing with her baby. Cameron's spending time with family. Nice. Okay. Well, I asked you in the pre agenda, so I always send that out ahead of time if you registered ahead of time to get that. Oh, and Alessandra says photography and time with family. Okay. And Jody, hey, yeah, hey, Jody, morning walk or workout at the gym, gardening, reading, and spending time with family. Nice. Okay, well, when you think about those things that you do to rest and relax and recharge, I'm just going to share a different screen right now. And feel free to click on the link that I just gave you. And it's going to take you to the screen that I will share. I'll share on the screen in just a second here. So think about your current work-life balance. And if you're like Leanne, do you know how hard it was for me to get here? Like this tech is just too hard for me. So you can always put it in the chat and one of us will add it to this document. But basically, in column A, what percentage of your time are you devoting to work right now? So, what percentage of time are you currently devoting to work? And you can put that on the first available free row. So, right now, that would be row 29. If you see the cell is outlined by a color, that means that someone else is in that cell. So feel free to put your number there. And then in column D, put the time that you devote to non-sleep or non-work rather. Okay, so someone's putting in 60%. That's great. So on column D, you would put 40. And then there's going to be something kind of fun that happens there. Yeah, so you can see I did this automatic um, calculation there. So it kind of gives you a visual representation. Oh, I wonder why that. Oh, I'm just going to, so someone put 60 with a percentage. So I'm just going to take that out and that will, because that's affecting the formula there. So that, yeah, there we go. Okay. So when you enter, just make sure you're not putting a percentage and then it will calculate it. So I'm filling in the other sides of the coin as you will. So we've got everywhere from a low of 50% designated to work up to a high of 70 and a low of 30% designated to non-work to a high of, what is it, 50 there. So this is kind of just a fun little map. And I'm actually, now that you know what it does, I'm going to spool out what other people have said here too. So you can kind of get a sense of what other people are doing. Okay, so keep that kind of in mind. I'm going to bring us back to the deck. Just give me a second here. Keep that in mind as we go forward. And is that balance what you want it to be, or do you want it to shift? And think of that as we go forward. Okay, are you ready to dive in? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to talk about this elusive myth. By the way, you're going to need a pen or a pencil for this. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to talk about this elusive myth. Great. Okay. Okay. Well, first, I want to show you because I know I don't think I'm making an assumption here. I'm pretty confident in what I'm about to say that the world seems really upside down, chaotic, disturbing, surreal, unreal, etc. So maybe you might relate. Okay, so is anyone else feeling off balance these days? Like, just with that, the general sense of work and personal life can feel very slippery and unsure of our footing. Jennifer's like, yes, with an exclamation mark. Jody says at times, yeah. So I think it's really important, and you should be applauded for taking some time to look at your stress levels and your work-life balance or integration. Needy says yes. Alba says yes. Sometimes it's not easy. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about then this myth of work-life balance, right? I think that it is a bit of a myth that things should be perfectly balanced. So I'm going to ask you to grab a pen if you can. So I'm going to stop the sharing for a second. And if you're able to, feel free to turn your cameras on if you're comfortable doing that. So feel free to grab a pen or a pencil and turn your cameras on. So what you're going to try to do, so I've got a pen here and I'm going to try, hey Alba. Alba, I don't know why, but you're upside down. I kind of like it. It's very creative. Oh, I love that. That's great. So what you're going to try to do is take this pen or pencil and you're going to try to balance it on your finger, right? So stick out your finger. It's not easy, right? So you're going to try to take that pen or that pencil and you're going to try to balance. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right. Okay. So let me know how if you were able to do that, and I'll go back to our deck here. If you were able to do that, how was that? Let me know how that was.
I apologize. I am cheating. There's a gum on my pen.
I love that. I think that's awesome. So that's, in a way, right? That's your superpower, right? That is those are but we can say that that represents the tools and tips and techniques for today. So I don't think any apology is necessary. That's great. Okay. So anyone else, how was it easy? Was it difficult? How was it to try to balance that pen? I'm just putting this comment in the chat. So I know for myself, it wasn't easy, and it certainly didn't feel stable. Okay, so Needy said, "Oh, it took a while, and then it was fine." Okay, so with practice, yeah, I like that metaphor that we can extend to work-life balance. It takes some skills. I just finished living in Nairobi for 14 years, and now I'm in southern France, and I'm constantly like it's cold here compared to Nairobi. So I'm always putting on layers, taking off layers. So Neneng's saying, not easy. Albo's saying, I use tools to help me balance that penny. That's so great. Yeah. So I think if we think about the myth of work-life balance, oh, and Alessandra's saying it's unstable and not easy, right? Like if I was sitting beside you or walking by you and I nudged your elbow, more than likely, unless you had that gum or the glue, more than likely that pen or that pencil would fall, right? So that balance was potentially quite fragile. So I'm going to invite you, if you're comfortable, to repeat after me this sort of fun pledge to banish this myth of, I've got it all together. My work and my personal life are perfectly balanced. So I'll read this out. And by the way, I often get this question. You will get a copy of the deck. So some people like to take this pledge and print it off and put it at their desk or as a screensaver or whatever. So feel free to unmute. So everybody unmute. And then I'll get you to repeat after me this pledge, right? So we don't want to go for artificial and brittle and fragile. We want to lead from strength. So repeat after me. I pledge to put the myth of perfect work-life balance
I
Uh, I
pledge
pledge to
for the
put
sake of perfect work-life balance.
to bed for good.
For good.
About
Bed
the
for
okay.
good.
Bed for good.
Lovely. I commit to doing what's best for me
Commit to doing what's best for
doing
me
what's best
I
for me
commit to doing what's best for me
and my circumstances,
and my
and
circumstances,
and my circumstances,
including myself, my family, my team,
including myself, my
Feeling
family,
myself,
team,
family, okay.
team,
my organization, and my community.
my organization,
My
and
organization, and my
organization,
organization,
and
community.
community.
I pledge to not bow to other people's
I
pledge
pledge
I
to not
feel
bow to other
to other
people,
all
Pressure.
feeling
pressure and get caught up
like
in unhelpful comparisons.
pressure, and get caught
I'm
up
not
in
getting
our
Get
helpful
caught
all
up in
comparison.
comparison.
Unhelpful comparisons.
um
Lovely. I love the how everyone waits like a couple seconds to see if someone else is going to do it. I love the diversity of pacing and accents and that's I think what I really want to, one of the key points today is really take what works for you today and leave the rest, right? Really make this work for you based on your circumstances. Okay, speaking of which, I'm going to play a clip here a couple of times. You're going to think that it's not true, but it's actually one word. It's a very, very, very long word. And see if you can write it down in the chat. Okay, so I'll play it a couple times and try to write this word down in the chat. Here we go.
We call this mob stalking, herbivorous, solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization.
Let's turn that up a little bit. Okay, I'll play it again.
We call this mob stalking, herbivorous, solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization.
Okay, a couple more times.
We call this mob stalking, herbivorous, solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization.
Okay, any attempts to write down that word in the chat? Don't aim for perfection. Just see if you can get. Oh, hey, Cameron. Great. Okay, awesome. I'll play it once more. See if anyone else wants to take a gamble at writing down this very, very, very long word.
We call this mob stalking, herbivorous, solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization.
Nice, Alba. Okay, so what I'm not torturing you. The point behind this is it's about sense making, right? So this myth of work-life balance, we're trying to make sense of things, and particularly so that it makes sense for you, right? It has to make sense for you. It has to fit you, right? Based on your family circumstances, your personal circumstances, your culture, your career stage, your interests, your priorities, all of those things. So take what works for you, sense make those things, and then leave the things that may not fit you. Uh, because sense making is exhausting, right? There's kind of two different levels of when our brain is thinking, and when we're doing that really deep thinking, it takes how much percentage of energy? Oh, sorry, is there a question? Needy, were you going to say something?
Are they clear?
Oh, Needy, I can see you're unmuted. Did you want to say something? No? Okay. May and Needy, I'll mute you, but if you do have a question, feel free to unmute. So we've got this notion of this myth of work-life balance is very brittle. So we want to make sure that we're doing things that fit ourselves because it's all about that sense making. And when we're doing that kind of deep thinking, it takes 67% more energy. So our brain requires 67% more energy when we're doing that deep, thoughtful thinking. And that drive to understand how the world works, it is an actual drive, and it can lead to discovery and delight and disaster, right? And discomfort, especially if ambiguity is involved. So, my friends, we've done that first piece, right? Putting that elusive myth to bed, right? Really try hard to do what works for you. Oh, no worries, Needy. Okay, any questions, or give me a thumbs up if you want to know yourself a little bit better and learn a tool that will give you a little bit more relaxation and balance and less fear and anxiety. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go ahead, or if you have questions or comments, just pop them in the chat. Okay, great. Okay, so the next piece here is knowing what motivates you. This is from research, National Geographic research, and I have created thousands and thousands and thousands of tools in my learning and development career. This is one of my all-time favorites. People really find this one incredibly intriguing. So we're going to look at which way do you lean, right? What do you lean into? What motivates you? What calls you forward? What makes you feel on fire and lit up and excited? And then what doesn't? Because if you know that, then you can kind of go with the current as opposed to against the current. So I'd like you to pretend that there are several bags in front of you, paper bags. There is nothing dangerous about this bag. There's nothing dangerous inside it. There's nothing that can hurt you. They're innocuous bags. But you have to decide, or don't have to, I'm going to invite you to decide how to look under this. What process are you going to use to look at the underside of this bag, right? So what process are you going to use? Because that will tell us about your motivation style. So there are 6 different ways to decide how to look under this bag. You may find that more than one calls to you, which is totally fine and normal. And put the 1 or 2 that speak most loudly to you. It's like, oh, that's me. That calls to me. So number 1, would you want to be a leader? Would you want to help your group to decide whether to look under the bag? Number 2, would you talk to your group about looking under the bag? Number 3, would you decide for yourself? Thank you very much. You make your own decision. Okay. Number 4, you would imagine asking your future self. Okay. Number 5, you do some kind of research, like you consult the internet. Or number 6, you'd really want to make the right decision. You'd want to achieve your goal. That would be very important to you. So let me know in the chat. By the way, I have a survey that goes with this that I'll share with you, and you can take that and get much more information. But for now, we'll just do kind of a quick, easy way. So put the number that speaks to you.
Can we put more than one?
Yes, Alba. Yes. If more than one, I mean, try not to put 6, right? Put like 1 or 2, maybe 3 if you really, really call. But yeah, two is fine. So you've got these paper bags in front of you and you're trying to decide how to make the decision about what to look at underneath the bag. Okay, so Alba says 1 and 2. So be a leader and talk to your group. Great. Because these are, I'll show you in the next slide, these really explain different motivation styles. And they're very different. Sometimes they butt heads, right? They're so different. Okay, Faith is saying 4 and 6. So imagining asking your future self and really wanting to achieve your goal. Cameron says number 2, talking to the group. Jennifer says 3 and 6. So deciding for yourself and achieving your goal. Yang Yang says 2 and 6, talking to the group and the goal. Okay, those are common ones. Great. When I do this live, I actually have paper bags and people go to them. It's quite fun. Actually, we have a hoot doing this. Okay, great. Okay, well here are, so keep track of your number there. And here is what it means. So if you decided, so number 1, be a leader. That's power. Let me just turn on my laser here. So if you wanted to lead the group, that's power, right? So you are motivated by power and leadership, right? By the way, we tend to think that our motivational style is the best and other motivational styles, well, they're not quite as good, right? But also look, all of these styles have their good days and their bad days. So of course, power and leadership can be absolutely misused, right? That's power on a bad day. Okay, if you said talk to your group, that's affiliation, right? So those are our social people, right? They love to collaborate and cooperate and work together, right? On a bad day, they're busy like, oh, Faith, I love that shirt that you're wearing at Alba. I thought that you were going to go see that new movie last weekend. How was it? So meanwhile, there's some report that's due in an hour, and those folks are busy socializing, right? So that's affiliation on a bad day. Okay, number 3, decide for yourself. That's autonomy. So people who are motivated by autonomy want to get along with things. Don't micromanage me. I'm super motivated myself. Just let me put my head down and get going, right? On a bad day, people who are motivated by autonomy can have blinders on And they're so busy focusing on this thing that they haven't realized that everyone else has made a left turn and is going in a completely different direction. Okay, those of you who said imagine your future self, that is future, right? So motivated by climate change, eradicating gender-based violence, uplifting people from uh, uh, slums and such, eradicating racism, working towards equity and equality, like whatever that future self is. On a bad day, the folks motivated by future can have their head down so much. No, we can't take a break. We can't take a break. We got to work hard. Don't you know the world is burning, right? So they can burn out. Okay. Okay, and then consulting the internet. So that is external. So if you're motivated by external, it might be your boss, your colleagues, it might be the social norms and cultural practices of your passport country, your team, your organization. It could be what your spiritual or religious leader thinks. It's something outside of you, right? And on a bad day, now, Ellie, I'm just making this up. This is just to prove a point. Like, Ellie, did you see that car that Faith is driving? Like, oh, what a junker. Or Irene, oh, those are not designer clothes that Irene is wearing. Like, oh, right. So judging people based on external superficial things, right? The brand of clothes, the brand of car, like things that aren't important. Okay, and then the final one is make the right decision, achieve your goal. That is achievement. So tick, tick, cross, cross. Achieve that goal, get that thing done, etc. On a bad day, they're a bit like the future folks, like so focused on the goal that perhaps they can burn out, right? They're working too hard and they can burn out. There is a lot of other information. So you can take the survey, which I'm putting in the chat. So that will give you more information about your style. And also there's a worksheet as well that you can fill in to help you. Once you know your style, you can look in the worksheet for ideas and also fill in some ideas. Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Oh, and by the way, these are sort of kind of a summary of those motivation styles. So any questions before we move on? The whole point behind this is knowing the way you lean, your bent, the thing that makes it flow easier and more naturally for you, that brings ease and comfort, right? If you are motivated by achievement, that's very different than, for example, being motivated externally, right? So you can work with your motivation as opposed to against it. Comments, questions, or you can give me a thumbs up and we can go on to the next thing on the agenda.
Do we have to do the form now?
Oh, great question, Alba. No, that's for
Self-assessment?
later. Yeah,
Oh,
that. Thank you for asking that question. No, that's for later. If you want, this will all be in your workbook. So if you don't get overwhelmed by the resources that I'm giving you, but later on, if you want to, you can take the survey. It'll give you more information. And you can also look at that worksheet because it's one thing to know your style, but then how do you work with that motivation style? Thank you, Alba. Okay. So we've done that myth, right? Really trying to hone in on what we need, what fits for us. I'm 5'10". I don't know what that is in centimeters, but I know that one size does not fit all when it comes to clothing, and it's the same thing with work-life balance and integration, right? So do what works for you. And that includes knowing your relaxation style, or rather your motivation style. That will help you relax more, bring you more balance and less fear and anxiety. Okay, let's go on to one simple skill to decrease your stress and increase your balance, your wellness. So this is the whole thing about keeping up. So um, does anyone here face pressure to keep up? Right? Like there's a whole reality TV series, keeping up with, right? So does anyone feel that pressure from your team, from your family, from your passport culture, right? Like there's certain ways and certain accomplishments we can think, oh, I'm behind, I haven't achieved enough, I haven't done enough, right? That can be yeah, so some folks with work, some other folks are saying from their family, right? That pressure to keep up, right? Especially in today's environment where we're walking and talking faster. Things are just moving at a very fast pace. And that can cause a lot of very uncomfortable, not helpful pressure. So I've got 4 techniques, 4 ways to kibosh keeping up. In other words, try to get rid of, or at least reduce that pressure on ourselves to keep up. So one of them is to think about the kinds of time, right? How are you spending your time, right? Are you carving out time? Now, again, do what works for you. I know some of you probably have close to 90, 100% control of your time. And others are like, Leanne, I can't even remember the last time that I was in control of my schedule. So do what works for you. But here are some different kinds of time. So can you carve out some time to do some deep thinking where you won't get interrupted, where you can concentrate, plan, you can think about strategy, those kinds of things, right? That's that kind of thinking that takes 67% more energy in our brains. A really brilliant colleague of mine, I love this. She has a particular chair that she sits in when she wants to do that kind of thinking. So she's trained her body and her brain. It's like, oh, I'm sitting in this chair. That means it's this kind of thinking time. Can you batch your time into time where it's almost mindless and repetitive? So you're doing tasks that it's the opposite, does not take a lot of brain power. It's just very repetitive, very rote. Can you batch some of your time into social time, the meetings, the mentoring, supervising, giving and receiving feedback, etc.? And can you also think about your time in terms of planned time and unplanned time? I have been tracking my time now for years using a free online app, and it's been really interesting to monitor what am I spending my time on, right? It's one of the most valuable things that we have. And when I realized, oh, I need to build in unplanned time into my schedule, the stress really went down on that. Or because of that. Alba's saying, I'm working on it. Not easy. And like anything else, it takes time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One thing that might make it a little easier, Alba, is the second one, which is what I like to call catching the ripple to avoid the wave. So sometimes we have just this little thing that we need to do. If we do this little thing, it means that other people can go ahead with their work. It means that it just makes things flow easier as opposed to avoiding that ripple. And then before you know it, there's this we feel like we're drowning. There's this huge wave that just feels like it's going to press us down and it's impossible. So what are those little ripples, those little things that you can do to keep moving forward? Yang Yang likes that one. Okay. A third one is the Eisenhower matrix. Give me a thumbs up if are you familiar with this one? It's quite well known. So it's called the Eisenhower matrix, and it looks at the difference between urgent and important. The difference between urgent and important. So let me put my laser on again. So we've got things that are not important and urgent. So those are some phone calls, some emails, some meetings, distractions, interruptions. We want to spend the least amount of time in that quadrant as possible because we're not doing important work, even though it's urgent. Then there is this quadrant here. So it's not important and it's not urgent. So we also want to try to not spend as much time as we can in this quadrant. And it's trivia stuff, busy work, time wasters, social media, right? We're just down the rabbit hole, and before we know it, 2 hours have gone by, right? Then there is important work that is urgent, right? So if someone yells fire and it's not a drill, well, even if it is a drill, right? It is important and urgent to leave the building, right? Some calls, some emails, some meetings. If someone's injured, someone's sick, right? There's an emergency. Those are important and urgent. And then this final one here, oh, this is a hard one. It is one of the most important quadrants and the hardest one for many to get into. So it's important, but not urgent. So because it's not urgent, it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Do it, right? And then it never happens. So things like building your team, doing planning, doing training, right? Professional development, learning and development, strategy work, exercising, your vocation, your calling, working towards your mission, your purpose. Those are all really key things. So if you wish, you can take a screen grab of this. You'll also get it in your workbook and maybe track your time for the week and see where are you spending your time. Just put a little, every hour or so, put a little check mark in each of these quadrants. Alba's saying often interchanged or misused. Oh, Alba, say more if you're comfortable.
Oh, I wanted to ask the name of this table used.
Oh, it's Eisenhower. It was
Okay.
done by the former U.S. president.
Okay.
So it's called the Eisenhower matrix. Yeah.
Matrix. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, as I said, often interchange. Well, when we speak about work, it's misused a lot sometimes. When it's not urgent. It's important, but not urgent. So yes, definitely it happens a lot.
Yeah. And I like for me to combine, like I don't necessarily sit in a different chair. So this chair strategy is a way to do that really important but not urgent work. So I'll sometimes remove myself and put myself in a different environment totally. I'll go to a cafe, I'll go to a library, for me, planes and trains for some reason, or when I'm traveling are way easier for me to stay in that category than others. So you can combine these as well. Okay, and then the fourth one is MIT. So we're not talking about the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, like an Ivy League thing, but rather have you identified your most important task? So the night before or in the morning, one way to really help with, dampen down that pressure to keep up is if you identify what's the most important thing I have to do today, and then really prioritize that. And I know for some of you that's way easier than it sounds because some of you will have a lot of control over your schedule and some of you don't. But it gives you some agency if you can, right? It gives you some control. Okay, and then the last one is in terms of that pressure to keep up, can you organize your time into sprints? So has anyone heard of sprints when it comes to time management and that pressure to keep up? Is this new for anyone or? Is this a new concept or have you heard of this? Ellie, you've heard of it? Okay, nice. Oh, Alba's asking like the sport. It's kind of like that. We're borrowing from sport language, which I guess is good because as we're doing this live, the Olympics are on. It's actually batching things together when you know that you're really going to have to put your head down and work longer hours than normal. Now, I can hear some of you saying, Leanne, that's my reality every day. And I know that is for some folks. But for example, if you have a special project, you have a big report due, you have a senior level delegation coming to visit, you're launching a new product, you're launching a new service. Despite our best planning, we know more than likely that we're really going to have to work longer than normal. So we can plan for those sprints, right? And the planning will look different based on your personal circumstances, but it might be, okay, I know for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be working really, really long days. So that's going to start on the Monday. So before Monday, I'm going to make sure all the laundry is done. I'm going to make sure I have frozen meals in the freezer that I can defrost quickly to eat. I don't have to worry about cooking. It means maybe I'm going to delegate some other parts of my work. It could be making alternate childcare arrangements if I'm a parent, all those kinds of things. So let me know, is there something that comes up for you that you would do, you would make an arrangement for if you were going to have a sprint? So anything I didn't, excuse me, I didn't mention, maybe you work out regularly and you know that maybe you work out, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week and you think, okay, this week, because there's a sprint, I'm going to give myself grace. And if I get one workout in this week, I'm going to feel good about that. Anything else you could do? Cameron saying someone else drop or pick up kids from school. Absolutely. You're right on track, Cameron. Absolutely. Imagine the stress that would take off if you could plan that ahead of time. Alba's saying, well, it takes preparation. You have to prioritize and maybe for that period, let go of some things. Yes, yes. Yeah, let go. So I gave the example of maybe working out less. Some of you might have strong reactions to that. There's some pros and cons to that. But yeah, reducing your expectations when you're in a sprint, absolutely. Okay. Anything else? Onita saying, sleep early and for long hours when possible, refresh the mind so I can be more productive. Yeah, if you put, I have a sleep schedule on my iPhone, so it stops all the notifications and buzzings and all that between those certain hours. It also reminds me when it's bedtime because of that schedule. So things like that. Alba saying it's just for a small period until this is over. Yeah, yeah. So a sprint is for a predefined period of time, based on this thing that's coming up, you're publishing a book, you're launching a new product, whatever it is. It's for a specific period of time. Okay. Great. Okay, well, with that, I just want to take a quick pause to say, look how much you've done, right? We've talked about this myth. All of these things I'm talking about are very research-based. I'll give you all the access to that research if you wish. You'll get that soon. We've talked about your motivation style, right? If you can work with your motivation style, makes such a big difference. And then this notion of trying to reduce that pressure of keeping up. And we talked about 5 different ways to do that. Any questions at all before we go on, or any resources to add? And while you're thinking about that, I just did want to let you know, again, in case you came in after I shared it, I give lots of workshops on different topics. That I just shared my workshop catalog there. If you're finding value in the roundtable, I would be so grateful for you to help us grow our global community. So the joining list, or the link rather, is in the chat. Also, our next workshop is on this comes right from a roundtable member suggestion. Working with all kinds of people, yes, even the difficult ones, simple skills for real world teams. So that's going to be on March 19th. The link is in the chat. You can sign up already if you want. And then also, and I'm so delighted that Needy's here. I mean, because she's a member. I've launched the Transformative Trainers Academy, which is teaching game changers and change makers how to design and deliver learning that really wows. So if you're interested in that, you can email me, or you can look at the page there that has lots more information. Okay, but before we go on, any other questions? Questions, resources that you want to share? We've got a couple more things to do. I'm going to explain the sweetest kind of stress you've probably never heard of. And then we're going to talk about stress relievers that take 60 seconds or less to work. Okay, Nita saying delighted to be part of the Academy and hope to see some fellow learners there. Aw, yeah. Yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out. You are so welcome to join the Academy. It's a monthly membership model. So, okay, great. Okay, so then give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go on. We're going to do some mapping, some really simple mapping. Okay, good. I see a thumbs up there. Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 types of stressors and where you're at with these buckets so that you've got a plan that really fits you. So there's 3 kinds of stressors. What do you think those stressors are? Not what causes stress, because there's like so many things that cause stress, but 3 types of stress. Any guesses? Any guesses? I'm gonna guess that one of them you've never heard of before. Work. Work, emotional, social, time. These are all great. These are all things that cause stress. These are sort of categories of stress, I guess you would say. Environment, yeah. These are all wonderful things. We're going to put them into categories. Here, Alba, not so much triggers. Here, I'll show you what they are here. It's ooh stress. That's probably the one you haven't heard of. So let me know. Have you heard of ooh stress? It's such a weird, yeah, Cameron says never. I know it's such a weird word. Ooh stress. Like, what the heck is that? So ooh stress is positive stress. It's healthy, positive stress. And you might be saying to yourself, what are you talking about, Leanne? There's no such thing. Well, think about if you're going on a date or you're getting married or you got a promotion and it's your first day on the new job, or you've just launched a new product or service and it's gone really, really well, or you're meeting someone at work, a colleague who you're so excited to meet, right? Those are all ooh stress, right? Then we have stress. So the things that are stress they cause us stress, but it's a manageable level of stress. It's not going to harm our health. And then we have distress. And distress are those things that are causing significant stress to the point where it can affect our health, right? And I should say, if in this exercise you find that you have significant amount of distress, I have a background in social work, my undergrad degree, but I'm not a professional counselor. So please do reach out and get some support, get some help particularly if you're having a lot of distress. So what you can do is download this worksheet. So it looks like the image on the screen. And you can fill in, it's labeled your eustress, stress, and distress. You don't need to do it now. I'm just want to give you the tools so you can pick the ones that are most important to you and do those later as you wish. And then you can divide your stressors. So folks have given lots of nice examples here. So we've got work, emotions, some social stress, time pressures, the environment, relatives, friends. So you can map those things into your eustress, stress, and distress. Does that make sense? It's kind of a way of, well, actually, it's a way of being in that matrix of important but not urgent, and really kind of mapping out where are you at right now? What role is stress playing in your life, right? And that's going to change clearly based on what's happening in and around you and on the world stage. But for this moment, and by the way, as soon as you have to download that sheet first, and then it becomes editable. So does that make sense? Comments, questions? Some of you will probably not be surprised at what you map, like how much is in each of those categories. And some of you might be really surprised once you get it down on paper to see, wow, I really have a lot of stress, or I really have a lot of distress, or wow, I never thought about eustress and what is in that bucket, right? Like, I have two kids who are grown adults. They're 24 and 27. But I remember like when they were babies and toddlers, like such a source of eustress, like endlessly, delightful and fascinating and interesting and curious and occasionally, very stressful too, right? So all to say the same thing can, cause different kinds of stressors. Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Okay. Before we go on to the last one, which is hacking your stress, and these kind of wonky, weird, but scientifically proven ways to decrease stress in 60 seconds or less. Do you have any resources that you want to share? This is such a great community. Is there anything that's worked for you in terms of your work-life balance, your work-life integration that you want to share? A book, a blog, a speaker, anything like that, a technique? Or if you're ready to get on to hacking stress, then give me a thumbs up and we'll move along. Alba's saying, I repeat positive phrases. Nice. Yeah, our brains are very, in the last, I don't know, what is it, maybe decade, this concept of neuroplasticity, where, neurons that fire together wire together, and you can really reinforce things, negative things if you do, negative self-talk, but positive things if you do positive self-talk. Nice. To calm the mind, nice. And Louise Hay is a resource that you've used. Nice. Okay. Anyone else? Any other techniques, resources? Or again, if you're ready to move on to our last chunk, you'll get to practice one or two of these techniques at your will. Just give me a thumbs up. What did I put together? I think I put 9.5 techniques plus a few bonuses. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to continue. You're all very quiet. Okay. Okay, I see a thumbs up there. Okay, great. Okay, so lovely. Thank you. So let's go. And by the way, this came directly from a roundtable member. So I really do read all of those suggestions for roundtable topics. And this specifically came from a member who said that they wanted some quick evidence-based techniques for immediate stress relief during high-pressure meetings. Now, you can use these techniques in lots of different situations. It doesn't have to be high-pressure meetings, but that's where this request came from. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information before we dive into the techniques, including introducing you to your blind spot. Now, some of you might be able to do this easier than others, depending where you are. So you can come back and do this later on if it's easier, or if you can do this now, feel free. So I'm going to invite you to close your left eye. So if you're able to close your left eye and use your right eye to look at the letter R. So close your left eye. And you know what? I should probably move this out of here. Just a second. Yeah. It's a bit distracting. So close your left eye, use your right eye to look at the letter R. Now, this is the part that might be harder based on where you are. But if you can, and you want to make sure you keep your left eye closed and you're only looking at that letter R, now move closely, slowly and closely towards the screen. And you'll notice at some point, the letter L will disappear. So if you're able to, I know some of you might be embarrassed, like your colleagues, like, what are you doing on this call? Are you trying to eat your computer? But if you can, and if you're able, was anyone able to do it?
I was, but on the side I saw the letter L.
Ah, okay. So if you're able to do it, it should disappear at some point, like without looking at it, right? Just out of your peripheral vision. Oh, for Cameron, it didn't work for you. Okay, there might be too much on the screen, so you could, because I know my picture's there, so you might want to put your hand up and block the left hand side. But basically, this is a scientific little technique to physically actually prove your blind spot. So when you're the places where your optic nerve leaves your eyeball, there's no like that's where your blind spot is, right? Is where the physical place in your eyeballs where your optic nerve leaves your eyeball. So that's why the letter L disappears. And by the way, this comes from this really great magazine. I love these National Geographic specials. So what does this have to do with stress? Well, we want to address your blind spot, right? We want to look at what's causing, we talked about that previously with those buckets, right? So once you do that exercise, you should have a clear idea of what's causing you stress, and distress. And then this is about what to do about that stress, those stressors. So before we get into the techniques, it's also worth thinking about what is your common trigger, and also your common your common reaction, right? So is it fight? Is it flee? Is it freeze? Or is it fawn, right? So fight, that's hopefully doesn't mean physically fighting, but if you like to debate and just get in there, right? Maybe that's your common trigger, your common response to stress. Is it to flee? And you may not even physically flee, but you just might disappear from the situation. The conflict, the stress is causing you anxiety. So you flee. Is it to freeze? Maybe you've had some trauma in your background and it just, the stress causes you to freeze. Or is it to fawn? Does anybody know what fawn means? Most people have heard of, oh, sorry. I just realized in the chat I put right. That should say fight. So does anybody know what fawn means? It's a kind of a weird English word. So it's a new word for Cameron. Yeah. This will most likely be much more recognizable to you. It's a people pleaser, right? So I'm just going to pretend here. So Takashi, it's okay. Whatever you want. We can do whatever you want. Don't worry about me. No, no, no. It's no, no. Don't even think about me. I'll do whatever you need, whatever you want. It's totally fine. It's okay. Veronica, don't worry about me. No, no. Don't even think about me. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Right? I'm exaggerating, right? But it's people pleasing. So those are a couple of things to think about as we head into these stress hackers, right? That you probably have a blind spot, right? So really open up and think about, just try and be playful, and just experiment with some of these techniques, and know that they do tend to work with all four of these common responses, right? Fight, freeze, flee, and fawn. So I've got like 9.5 to show you, and then I've got a couple bonuses, but the first bonus will take a little bit of time. So I want to do that first. So a bonus, and again, this will really work for some of you, and some of you are like, not interested. But if you could have a personalized page to color, what would you want that page to look like? Like what would you want the subject to be? So we're talking about a personalized coloring page, right? What could be the subject of that coloring page, right? Where you can color, doodle, you can use crayons, felts, whatever you want. Like Zentangle is another, if you've heard of, that's more like patterns and stuff. But if you could have, okay, a mosaic full of color. Oh, okay. So Alba, we're going to do, this is going to be a black and white because we want you to fill in the color. So, oh, Cameron's saying a world map. Okay, so I am just going to, I'm just going to leave here just for a second. I'm going to stay on the call, but I'm going to be doing something else in the background. So while I'm doing that, it'll just take me a couple seconds. Just list a few other ideas of what you would like your coloring book to look like, your page to look like. And then just give me a second here. I'm going to come right back to you in just a second. I'll be with you in just a second. Doing something to surprise you. Or maybe some of you have guessed, but let's see. Come on. Oh, okay. Okay, great. Okay, so we're going to come back to that. Okay, so let's go on to these hacking stress. And before we go through them, super, super, super important caveat is that these are temporary. So again, if you are facing significant stress, chronic stress, it's really dipping into distress, these techniques can help you temporarily, but they're not meant for long-term relief. These are if you're going into a stressful meeting or you need to make a decision and you have to have your wits around you. You don't have the privacy to, maybe break down or cry or whatever you need in the moment. You just really have to pull yourself together. That's what these are for. So, what I'll do is describe each of these techniques, and then I'll give you 1 minute to pick one technique to practice for 1 minute. Okay, so again, I will describe all of them. Pick the one that speaks to you, that you're curious about, and everyone will practice the one that they chose for the same minute. Okay, so number one, and these aren't in any particular order. Number one is for that minute, you'll breathe out longer than you breathe in. You'll breathe out longer than you breathe in. And the bigger the difference, between your in breath and your out breath, the better. Number 2 is elbows. I'm just going to bring back my camera here. So you're going to cross your elbows. You're going to have them in your lap. I'm just holding them up so you can see them. And you're just going to slightly push and pull. So if you can kind of see, I'm just slightly pushing and pulling. Okay, so you're going to cross your arms and slightly push and pull. But your elbows will be in your lap. I'm only holding them up so you can see them easily. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, you can do this as much as you're physically able to, and given the environment that you're in. So as much as you're able to for that same minute, when I say go, you'll stand up with your legs slightly further than hip distance apart, and with your arms above your head. So you want to put your arms up like this, right? If you're unable to do that, you can put your hands on your hips, just adjust it for however works for you. So again, pardon me, you're going to make an X like a starfish. So your arms up in the air and your legs further apart than normal, or your arms on your hips. The 4th one is smiling. You're going to smile for that minute. Not so hard that your cheeks hurt, okay? But you are going to smile. Number 5. By the way, I'll explain why these work later on. Right now, I just want to explain the techniques. And again, these work in 60 seconds or less. Number 5, you're going to think of a complicated positive thought. A complicated positive thought. So something like, what is my highest purpose? What have I been placed on this earth to do? Right? So it's positive and it's complicated. Number 6, you're going to say or hum one note for a minute. Now, clearly you're going to have to take a breath in that minute, a couple of breaths, but you'll say one note until you're out of breath and then take a breath and repeat. Number 7, now this you probably can't do right now unless you've already done it, but in the future you can collect pictures and quotes that calm you and keep them in a folder on your computer or on your phone, but things that, I know if I look at these quotes and or these pictures, they're really going to make me feel great. Okay. Number 8, you're going to name 3 things you can see, 3 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, then 2 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, 2 things you can feel, and then 1 and 1 and 1. If you are still going after a minute, that the minute's not up, you can start with 4, or you can start with 3 again. So 3 things you see, 3 things you hear, 3 things you can feel. And then number 9, there's a couple of ones. So you can massage the muscle below your cheek, right? So right in here, sort of this, right? So just take 1 or 2 fingers and do it on both sides. That muscle gets really, really tight often. So you can do that. You can make circles on your palm, right, with your finger. So you can start off with a big circle and then getting a little smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. And you can also trace the outline of your hand with your finger. You can do this on a piece of paper, or you can just do it in the air like I'm showing you right now. Okay. And then the final one, and there's a reason why this is 9.5, not 10, is you can vent. So if you have a conflict, you can very carefully, so not in an email, because we don't want to have any of these thoughts go to the person maybe that you have the conflict with. So you can write it on a piece of paper, write it in a note, write it in a Word doc, but just let her rip for 1 minute, right? 1 minute, just whatever you want to think, just get that all down on paper. Okay, I'll explain later why it's 9.5. But any questions other than why are we doing these weird techniques? Because again, I'll explain that in a sec. But any questions about the technique itself? I didn't explain it. You need a little more. You need a little bit more explanation. Do you have any? Are any of those techniques not clear? Otherwise, you can pick one of them. So, and some of them you can actually combine if you want to get really tricky about it. So you can do the breath and the elbows at the same time if you want. But let me know in the chat, which one are you going to practice? So put the number 1 through 9.5 of which one are you going to practice? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Nice. Great. Any other techniques? 1 and 4. Okay, we got lots of combos here. This is great. Okay. Anyone else? What is the technique that you're going to practice? I was in an emergency room with a family member getting some really difficult news, and I really needed, this is a true story, I really needed to be present and be thinking clearly. So I went into the bathroom and did the breathing out and smiling at the same time, and just got me able to be, so I could focus and deal with the news that we were getting. Okay. Okay, well, hopefully everyone else has your technique, and I'm going to set the timer. Okay, we got it 1 and 4. Wow, okay, so 1 is super popular. Okay, everyone's picked 1. Okay, so in a moment, I'm going to say go, and I'd like you, I invite you to practice that technique, whichever one you have picked, and I'll tell you when the minute is up. So you're going to do that technique for 1 minute. Okay, begin. So do that technique or techniques for 1 minute starting now. You're more than halfway through. Keep going. Okay, you're just about done. 1 minute's just about up. And stop. Okay, that was 1 minute. Before I describe how these work, let me know, how are you feeling? I'll just put a couple of words in the chat. How are you feeling after your minute of stress busting? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling calm? Oh, Cameron's feeling the same. Okay. Okay. Needy's saying need to leave now. Oh, to pick up my, oh, thank you, Needy, for being here. And this is recorded, so you can get the last few minutes. Alva's the same, feeling meditation. Okay. Okay. Well, let me go through and tell you the neuroscience behind these, and I'll turn on the annotation here. So the breathing out more than you breathe in, that is an ancient yoga technique. And again, it just resets your system and makes a big difference in terms of your stress level, or it can. The elbow technique, for people, especially people who tend to freeze during conflict or during stress, or people who've survived trauma, sometimes we just go out of our bodies, right? So if you need a grounding technique to literally bring you back to your body, that's what that technique is for. You can also tap your thighs, but it just really helps you calm down. Okay, the Wonder Woman and Starfish. This is Amy Cuddy's work. And if I had tested your saliva before and after. No, don't worry, there's no saliva testing kits coming your way. But this technique resets your cortisol and testosterone. So after 60 seconds of holding that, it's called a power position. After 60 seconds of holding that power position, your cortisol would have gone down and your testosterone would have gone up. Right? So very powerful technique. The smiling one, this one feels strange because the last thing we want to do when we're upset or cantankerous or aggravated or in conflict or stressed or overwhelmed is smile. However, the brain does a very strange thing, and it says to itself, Leanne is smiling. She must be happy. So I'm going to release chemicals to help make her feel happy. So it's a very counterintuitive thing to do, but it really resets your system. Okay, the complicated positive thought, that's forcing your brain to use your prefrontal cortex. That's like behind your forehead, like your forehead area. And that's the most complicated, sophisticated part of the brain. And it's not the part of the brain that's focused with fight, freeze, flee, or fawn. So you're literally making your brain use the part of your brain that's involved in analysis, humor, ironically, strategy, complex thinking, all those kinds of things. Holding one note, again, that's another reset in your body. The calming photo album and quotes, that can remind you. You can also put testimonials in there, so it can remind you in dark days that not everything is awful, horrible, terrible, no good, very bad when it can feel that way. Focusing on what's around you is another grounding technique. All of these things are self-soothing. Again, just really help you relax, focus on the present, and potentially help your brain not be scattered and stressed and overwhelmed. And then the venting one, this is a really interesting one. So the research is clear that if we vent temporarily, it can be very helpful. But if we vent for a long time, that's not helpful. We're reinforcing those negative neural pathways, right? So we want to be careful when we vent and do it in a short amount of time. Okay, comments, questions? What did you think? Anything you want to add? And just while you're doing that, let me just bring us over to, oh, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Sorry, I'm reacting without showing you yet. So this, I'm going to show you. Just let me bring us over to here. Okay, let me know if you can see can you see my screen in chat right now? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see that. This is, so I gave it the prompt. Great, thanks, Alva. I gave it the prompt to create an adult coloring book page in black and white that was a mosaic of the world map. So I kind of combined two of those suggestions. So I will download this and I will put it in your workbook. And if this speaks to you, you can print it off and use it as a stress reducing technique. Cool, right? Of course, that can be whatever you want it to be. Okay, back to our deck here. Okay. Okay, how are you doing? Comments, questions? Just while you're thinking about that, sorry, that should say 2. I also have another bonus for you, and these are some break cards that I made up. So things that you can do most of them are super easy to help you be encouraged to take breaks. So feel free to download those and use them if they speak to you. Okay, are you ready for one more bonus? This is kind of a strange one, but it's a really funny one. Are you with me? Give me a thumbs up. Are you ready for a weird, or do you want to, we can skip it too. Do you want to go to the summary or do you want one more? Okay, we got a thumbs up there. Okay, this is a strange one. So I'm going to ask you to trust me because sometimes you just gotta get it out. Like you're so stressed, you're so anxious, but you're in a professional setting and you have to appear calm, and it's the last thing you can do. So I'm going to teach you how you can scream into the void without making any noise. So to do this, you'll have to well, you don't have to. I invite you to turn on your microphone. So everyone unmute, 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 unmute. Okay, a couple of you unmuted. Great. Okay, a few of you. So if you can, Alessandra, Catalina, Eli, Irene, Jennifer, Takashi, Nyanyang, Veronica. Okay, so here's the technique. The first step is the most important or it's not going to work. So the first step is you have to empty all the air in your lungs. You have to do this. Okay, so on the count of 3, I want you to empty all the air in your lungs. Then without taking a breath, try to scream. Okay, so empty all the air without taking a breath, try to scream. 1, and I'll do it with you. 1, 2, 3, go. I can hear some of you giggling. Like it's impossible. I know, right, Jennifer? So if you are in a professional setting and you're just like, I am losing my marbles, and you feel like you have to scream, that is a way that you can scream without horrifying anyone. I know, right, Alessandra? Yeah, it makes sense, Alva. Yeah. Okay. So that brings us to to the end of our time together for today. Hopefully, we'll see you again on many more roundtables. But know that we've done the myth of work-life balance, right? We did that pledge. We did your motivation style. We talked about really dampening down those pressure it just adds so much pressure, right? When we feel we have to keep up. Mapping your stressors, the eustress, stress, and distress, and then hacking those stressors. I will put the coloring page in the workbook for you. That's custom made for you. So which of those do you think that you're going to work on? Like which one is like, ooh, like which one is the one that you're going to try first? Or what's your biggest takeaway from today? Let me know. I know we're right at the bottom of the hour. We just have like quick 1 or 2 more minutes with your permission. I would love, 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 love to know what's your biggest takeaway. As you're doing that, please, 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 if you found value today, share that invitation to join with other folks. If you're a UN staff and you want to get this to count towards your professional development, you need to sign the attendance sheet. I've put the link in the chat. And also March 19th, working with all kinds of people, even the difficult ones. That's our next roundtable. On Monday, usually it's Monday, you'll get the workbook, you'll get the video recording, you'll get the audio recording, everything will be there. So watch for that. And also you will get a link. I'll just put this in the chat as well. I do this every roundtable. Some of you I know really love the research piece of it. So all the resources are tagged with that link, so you can look at them there. I love the takeaways that are coming in. So Alessandra said that the myth of work-life balance was the biggest takeaway. Alba said to remember to breathe and the motivation. Yeah, the breath, right? It's literally right under our nose, right? That technique is available anytime. And the motivation factors. Yeah, remember you have the survey, you've got the worksheet if you want to dive into that more. And the PowerPoint deck has just arrived in your inbox. So it's there for you. You can take a look at that anytime. If you are a UN staff person and you're interested in the course I'm teaching March 24th and 25th, you can email UNON HR Learning to get more information. There is a cost for that. They will share that with you. And finally, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful that you're here. Learning is my jam. I think learning underscores and supports any kind of conflict resolution. So thank you for sharing learning with me. I appreciate it. And don't hesitate to be in touch if you'd like more information about my Transformative Trainers Academy or any other workshop. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you all. Stay well, stay creative, stay learning, and we'll see you next month. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you and bye.